puso a pensar, dice, no, mejor me voy para México.
So he began thinking, it's better to go back to Mexico.
Y dice, no, dice, mejor dice, no, dice, se comunica con otro y discutió con el jefe. Y entonces dice, no, dice, te voy a castigar, te voy a mandar a México. Y no, y mejor se fue con otros amigos a Chicago.
But then he talked to the other workers and he discussed it with his boss, thinking that maybe things could be improved. But his boss told him, no, I'm going to punish you. I'm sending you back to Mexico. But actually, he was sent to Chicago with some friends.
Y ya después en Chicago no le fue bien.
It didn't go well for him there. And there in Chicago, he and a friend escaped and went to New York and roamed around there, sleeping in trains, under bridges, or on the street.
Y de ahí, de Chicago, él y un amigo se escaparon de esa banda, se escaparon y se fueron para Nueva York solos y anduvieron vagando en Nueva York. Dormían abajo en el tren, en el puente o en la calle. En diferentes lugares.
¿Cuántos años tenía en aquel entonces?
I asked how old he was at that time.
14 años tenía.
14. He arrived in New York. He said, why are you guys selling? They could catch us. He began selling.
Él llegó a Nueva York. Él llegó a... Pero ¿por qué están vendiendo? No, nos pueden agarrar. No.
He was really nervous. He didn't know what to do. He was scared.
Y ya dice, bueno, se puso a vender y él estaba como muy nervioso. Y ya después se sentía así como no sabe qué hacer y tenía miedo y se lo daba o no se daba a la gente. Y
Sometimes people bought, sometimes they didn't.
Y era así el diario, pero ya poco a poco ya se fue adaptando.
That's how it was each day, but little by little he adapted. He was scared. He knew he needed to sell all the items. It was the first time he did that kind of work. Whenever he returned to the house, the boss would chew him out for not selling everything. Reynaldo told him, I can't. And he didn't say anything else. He did sell a little, but he gave to the boss all the money that the people gave him. The boss took it all.
Y el jefe le quitaba todo su dinero.
The people told him he had to sell.
Pero ya las personas decían, tienes que vender.
Some of them escaped.
Y ya también ellos se escaparon.
Roberto was 22. He was in Mexico. He and some friends encountered some other Mexicans in a car. These people said, you want to join us? We're going to the border. We're just taking a vacation. So the guys said yes, but after they crossed the border, they found themselves at a place where there were a lot of other friends. They went inside, and when they opened the door, there were a whole bunch of deaf people. He thought, man, this is the first time I've seen a bunch of deaf people together. They started talking about where each other was from. He was sent to New York, where he was given a package of items and told he had to sell them.
Cuando llegaron a Nueva York, ya les dieron un paquete.
Roberto said, you tricked me. We were supposed to be coming here to work, not to sell. You told me I'd be painting or carving. Why are you giving me this package? I never thought I'd be doing this stuff. The boss told him, "You have to sell and you have to give us the money." The boss took all his money, all the money that everybody made. Roberto told him, "But this is my money. I sold this stuff." But the boss said, "No, no, no. Give me it." Roberto didn't like it because he wanted to work, not sell.
Y dice, oye, pero él decía, pero eso es mi dinero, yo lo vendí. Dice, no, 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 dámelo. Y él no le gustó porque él quería trabajar, no quería vender.
Rinaldo was 19 when he began his 3 years of slavery. He was living with a couple of friends. They trusted him. Rinaldo said one day while working, "I'd love to have a hot dog." His friend said, "You better be careful." "But I'm selling," said Rinaldo. "Oh, we ought to just eat one hot dog." One guy said, "No," and Rinaldo said, "But the boss said there's no problem." You see, when Rinaldo first came to New York, he liked the boss and his staff. When Rinaldo asked one person why he had to sell those things, he was told it was to make money for the boss to provide them food and a place to live. But Rinaldo didn't like it.
Todos eran oyentes, sordos. Dice, pero ¿por qué? ¿Por qué tengo que vender esas cosas? Pero para dar al Señor, para que nos dé de comer y techo. Pero a él no le gustó.
And he was never happy because the boss scolded him.
Porque el jefe lo regañaba.
So that's the story the guys gave me on the experience of being enslaved to their Hispanic masters. Before I left, I asked the guys about sounds. Juan says he likes music that he can feel, and he likes the sound of wood being cut.
Que se siente y el ruido de cortar la madera.
Roberto enjoys the heavy drum beats.
Le gusta.
But when the drums are not being played, it's as if the music
Pero cuando está prendido, pero cuando se apaga, eso ya como que se le acaba.
has been turned off. Rinaldo likes the drums loud, really loud.
Él le gustan los tamborillos muy fuertes, pero fuertes.
Sometimes the guys make sounds to get someone's attention.
Él no saca el sonido, pero le gusta el... Hey.
Maybe someday you will learn to sign, to speak in sign language. Then you'll be able to talk with people like these guys. I know you're wondering how the guys were rescued from their slavery. Well, they told their stories in bits and pieces, and I had to try really hard to put it all together accurately. They were getting restless after a long interview. They were on vacation, and they were getting ready to go back to work. So I had to leave with what I had. In short, some of the Sordos escaped and let other people know what was going on. These people then contacted the police, who planned a rescue, and as I understand this particular situation, the boss got away and so did his staff. Los Sordos were afraid to contact the police because most of them were here illegally. The U.S. took them in and put them on a path to citizenship. The slaves were not well educated. In fact, they hardly had any education at all when they came here. Maybe second grade, I would guess, from talking with Rossi, the interpreter. And they were poorly educated because their country at that time didn't offer much schooling for deaf people. Things have improved since then, at least in some parts of Mexico. Immigrants often tell stories of being bullied by other immigrants who threaten to report them to the police and have them deported back to their original countries if they don't do what they say. You might wonder whether that's really bullying. So let me explain, and then you can talk it over with family and friends and teachers and decide for yourself what you think about it. The U.S. is not a place where people can get away with everything. We have laws that protect human beings, no matter whether they are citizens, visitors, guest workers, or here illegally. Our laws protect human beings. That doesn't mean everybody can come here and get anything they want, but it means they're protected from cruelty at least. You don't have the right to mistreat people because you don't like them, or because they're not citizens, or because they're here illegally. You have no protection under the law to treat people wrong. This country was founded on the idea that all the people in the world are born with certain rights. The Hispanic masters tricked and scared the deaf people into slavery, some for months, some for years. They made a lot of money, and they're probably still in the U.S. trying to figure out another way to rip off somebody else. But the men you met in this series have left that behind. They're living new lives, and they sure love the freedom. They appreciate being rescued. They appreciate being given the chance to become working citizens. The U.S. doesn't have room to take in everyone in the world, and so it tries to help other countries take better care of their own people. I hope you've enjoyed meeting some of the people who do make it in.